The U.S. Supreme Court just rejected a challenge to the Berkeley cell phone law, bringing to an end over 20 years of telecommunications industry attacks on free speech in order to obfuscate the massive deception they're attempting to continue in order to hide the real danger of cell phone radiation. Why is this such a big deal? Stay tuned to find out. Hi, I'm Mike, and this is another video in our cell phone radiation news series. Now, back in 2015, the City Council of Berkeley, California unanimously voted to require wireless retailers to warn customers who purchase cell phones about the possibly harmful levels of radiation that their cell phones will be exposing them to. The law was vigorously opposed by the Cellular Telecommunications and Internet Association, also known as the CTIA, which is a trade association representing the wireless industry's interests. The CTIA has been attempting to challenge the law on free speech grounds, saying that because the government, without the necessary justification that supports other types of regulations, is forcing retailers to spread a message they disagree with. CTIA disputed the content of the notice, saying it is misleading, since the FCC has already concluded, against all evidence to the contrary, by the way, that carrying a cell phone is perfectly safe. Now, this comes as no surprise because, God forbid, the industry actually admits the truth of how dangerous cell phone radiation can be, especially now that so much peer-reviewed scientific evidence exists which shows that cell phone radiation has been clearly linked to the development of cancer as well as many other human ailments. It's like the fox, or in this case the CTIA, trying to convince the farmer, the cell phone user, that the henhouse, their cell phone, is perfectly safe simply because the fox is keeping his eye on it. In a recent bombshell report, the Chicago Tribune tested about a dozen of the most currently popular cell phones at a distance of 2 millimeters, which is 3 millimeters closer than the minimum 5 millimeter distance required by the FCC, and found that many of the phones were emitting SAR levels of up to 500% higher than the legal limit. Keeping in mind that people hold their cell phones directly against their heads during use, you can only imagine how much higher the actual amount of cell phone radiation exposure is for those who don't hold their phones away from their heads when we talk. Given this information, it seems ridiculous that, on one hand, the CTIA and FCC are in agreement that cell phones are safe, and on the other hand, cell phone manufacturers have, for years, been including a warning in every cell phone's manual telling you to hold your cell phone at least 5 to 15 millimeters away from your body during use, lest you risk exposing yourself to radiation levels above the legal limit. The fact that your cell phone's manual contains this warning should be all the proof that you need to know that the industry recognizes the dangers that cell phones present to the health of every cell phone user. This is why the cowardly response of using free speech as a way to silence people who don't fall in line with the industry's propaganda reeks of both greed and malice, which is to be expected from an industry dedicated to profit, without a hint of compassion for the safety and well-being of the billions of people who purchase and use their products. Even we here at RF Safe have not been immune to their attacks. On October 8, 2001, a press release was posted to the CTIA's website trumpeting a revolutionary new type of antenna design that allowed for hearing aid compatibility and reduced RF radiation exposure, which RF Safe played a vital role in introducing for the wireless industry. RF Safe's owner John Coates then posted an article on his website simply confirming the release, stating, "After years of dedicated research, RF Safe is finally being recognized for setting the safest cell phone standards in the world." See the CTIA press release, and then of course a link to the release was provided. Shortly after this, on February 4th, 2002, John received an email from Michael F. Altschul, the Senior Vice President and General Counsel for the CTIA, stating that the CTIA will pursue legal action if he did not remove RF Safe's right to free speech directly from RF Safe's website. Mind you, this was a statement related to RF-SAFE's recognition as contained in the wording of the release posted to the CTIA's website. Even though the statement made by John was true in that the terminology RF safe does stand for only the highest levels of RF safety, and we teach more and more people every day how to be RF safe, in a decision that John regrets to this very day, the statement was removed as requested. This is because the CTIA has practically infinite amounts of money and clout to throw around in order to hide the truth, which is still happening to this day, as evidenced by their malicious attempt to challenge the Berkeley law on the grounds of free speech. Thank God the CTIA's perversion of the First Amendment is over. The truth has prevailed.